So go ahead and
Okay.
sorry about that, people.
Okay, it happens. Good morning again, and I'm going to introduce Reverend Story Lucile Ducey, and she will be doing the reading and the homily this morning. And thank you, Story.
You're welcome. Welcome, everyone. Today's Groundhog Day, and I remember Groundhog Day. I'm sure most of us remember that movie. In the ancient Jewish tradition, they do teach reincarnation, but they don't teach it until much later in life, like after 40. Now it's taught everywhere, but the point here being that they believe that you reincarnate every time you wake up in the morning. That in the morning you go to bed at night, say thank you for this day, thank you for my life. And if you pass the soul test at night, you get the privilege of a new day and a new incarnation. So every day, and if you know in the Bible, it says every day is a new beginning. And he had strong Jewish esoteric, Christ had strong Jewish esoteric training. So each day is a new beginning. Groundhog Day, that beautiful movie, Groundhog Day. I think most of us here, I call us spiritual disciples because we practice here at the Institute for Spiritual Development, meditation, mindfulness, and being awake every day. We believe very seriously that life is school. Otherwise, what sense, why do we have all these challenges? Why is life so difficult? And when you eventually come to an understanding that there's mercy and that we're in school, then suddenly all the challenges and difficulties of life begin to make some sense. You go, okay, I'm going to go through this heartache. At least I'm going to learn some brownie points, right? Edgar Cayce used to say that we have a picnic basket. Our soul collects treasures during life for every merit, every good deed, every soul that we've helped along the way. And that when you're on the other side, you may not get all the goodies today, but once you're on the other side, be ready for all those goodies that you've packed away in your picnic basket. So the rewards of today to learn various lessons don't always show up tomorrow. They may just be in your character, your evolving character. And we all know we get tested over and over and over again. I tend to think there's about 10 or 12 major things that a human being, as part of the human curriculum, that we're all meant to master. Loving one another, loving the self is part of it. Building a community that's based on love and not fear is also the test of this moment, indeed. So here we are, Groundhog Day, visiting many different lessons on a personal and a political level. Now, at the light of the soul, I'm weaving that in. Why are we constantly encouraged from within to keep going? How do we know there's a soul? How do we know that there's the motive within us to keep going, even though we're ill, even though we're afraid, we have responsibilities, we've got dreams, but we keep going. So every morning, I mean, how many people, here we go again, every morning, let me say my prayer, put on my smile, take a few minutes, get ready for what? The show, the new day that we are also co-creating together. And that's the other thing that we believe at ISD, that we're co-creators in this amazing world together. On the Buddhic level, we're in a field of consciousness. It's a divine play, and we each enter it to teach these lessons to one another. And that at the end, when we move through the veil, we have all the teachings to share what we've learned. And everything we learn, we get to share together, like the bees. We create this beautiful honey together. In the Vedic tradition, they teach that in the physical heart, there is a divine spark, and that it's about this big, that there's literally a flame in the heart. In the mystical medieval paintings, you would see flames of the hearts of the various saints. You'd also see flames up here. So in the Vedic tradition, you have the chakras. In the Christian Judaic tradition, you see the flames in the art. Okay, but each talk about the divine spark in the heart within. And we also know from physiology and the truth, there is, in fact, our heart is constantly creating, it's a spark and constantly creating. We have a good friend here who went through many of us, it's heart disease or cancer, many that are human our human frame is air to go through. It's the spark, and you reset your spark. And there you can do it manually with a pacemaker, or you do it every day with evolving your character and your free will. Okay. So this little spark, it's one thing to talk about it in the Vedic tradition, but it wasn't until our age that we were able to see electricity and to understand that electricity is light and energy, and then to know that this light and energy flows through all of us. The mystics talked about it, but in our generation, we see evidence for it. So we have two things. We've got the evidence of our own lives, of our soul nature, but also the evidence from the physical world that's showing us electricity. The ancients called it fohat. Okay, it's another word. There's ether, but the sacred energy. And Edgar Cayce said that electricity is the one thing that's closest to the human soul energy. Okay, so imagine now, what's the soul energy? Light plus consciousness. Light plus consciousness. What's the yin and yang? The yin and yang is showing us what great physics and quantum physics has taught us. There's light, electricity, energy, and then there's consciousness. And it's two sides of the same thing. And each of us every day are moving through our field of consciousness that we get to drive our free will. Not only do we have the spark of life within us, that's the physical spark that keeps the body going, but they say the soul on the higher level, everything is on through all the levels, okay? That spark is all-knowing and all-wise and just and sentient. It feels, what we now know from medicine, that the heart energy goes out further in the field than the brain energy. That heart link, the soul, the strength. So think of it this way. The soul, the witness inside of you, the part of you that says yes or no, that makes decisions. So that's the other part of the soul. We have free will. So think about it for a minute. Tune into the part of you right now that says yes or no all day long. That is part of that flame in the heart. It's consciousness using the energy of our being to be a creator in the world. Without that will, we don't create. We don't co-create, okay? So not only is it sentient, but willful. I will, I am. I think, therefore I am. So the heart feels I am. It comes from here. It's not here. It's story, I feel I am here in the heart. So we're part of this divine paradox as energy, which we call light, which is light, but also consciousness. But we're not taught, we're trying to learn energy and consciousness are one. So when we talk about the physics of the new age, this technology, I give a talk, I'm not going to do it today, I'm staying until 10 minutes, on the relationship between all of this digital age and our own consciousness. This is simply picturing what the human mind does already. So in terms of the light of the soul and Groundhog Day, it's that free will inside us, the will to be, that also help. I want to be here, even though it's hard. There's a reason I want to be here, even though it's not always easy. And we fight to be here. We fight to heal. You know, most of our life is healing one another through the difficulties of life, right? So and then the difficulties of dealing with ourselves in life. All right, so we're constantly moving and healing. And in this generation, we know that the evolution of the self is as important as the evolution of our relationship to our neighbors. That Edgar Cayce would say, a great mantra, a prayer is, may I be a channel of blessing to myself and all others. All right, so not only just others, but may I be a channel of blessing to myself and all others. So as spiritualists, which is what we are at ISD, we believe in a living communication through all planes of existence. And that's why we do intuitive messaging. We also at ISD, we're spiritualists. We believe in the ongoing continuance of life and the ongoing nature of our soul. We believe in life after life or life after death. And so part of what we do at the Institute is have services and classes where we demonstrate telepathy, that we're all one through the agency of the soul and energy and consciousness, how we use that energy and consciousness to be a blessing and to heal one another, but also to communicate. And I say that today because we look for evidence and evidence of the other side. It helps us feel like, okay, I can get through this today. There's reason for this pain. There's reason for me to go another 10 years because on the other side, I want a great picnic basket, but also I'm here to learn something. I'm here to evolve. And that's the story of Groundhog Day. Keep evolving, keep evolving. Every morning we wake up. Am I going to be a bitch? Am I going to be a saint? What am I, but you have to be controlled. So the Buddhists would say the control of the body. So if you imagine for a second, the soul inside your heart, essence of you is very much inside a rocket ship or a vehicle, and it's driving from inside the heart, and this body is the vehicle. And what do we see in digital photography today that we think are the divine sparks when they do the soul? We didn't see that. The Vedic tradition talked about the divine spark, but they didn't see these pictures now. What do we call them? What are
Orbs.
Orbs? Okay, how big is an orb? Very small. These are divine sparks. And many people believe that these are souls. And what you're seeing are the souls, but not the physical body they're in. All right. So that's part of the mystery of what we're in. And so we also talk about welcoming the stranger. And today when we go into our messaging, we're honoring the passing of a stranger who came among us. His name was Robert. We'll keep his name, his family name private. He came among us, a stranger came among us, following his light. He knew he was ill, okay? And he's here today because we're celebrating the life of Robert. He came and helped wash these walls, 2 months ago. He knew inside that this was his last chapter, and he came among us to help while he was thinking and preparing to pass, but he didn't say so. He said, I'm ill. I want to serve. And it turns out he was part of ISD in Sparta many years ago. So he knew he was trying to find a comfort zone for himself as he went through this preparation for passing. And what did he do? He came to serve. He came to serve. Robert, you came to serve. So I'd like for you to feel the presence now of Robert and the family around him. The energy is here. And we want to say, Robert, thank you. Thank you. And we also want to say to those that see us on Zoom, stop by, because later in the service, we do messaging from the other side. And it's how we prove of existence of life after life. That's part of what we do as mediumship. And also what we teach, this is a skill everybody has. We all feel spirit. We all feel divine inspiration. We all have it. Now, I don't like wearing the name reverend. Each person here is reverent by the noble nature of your soul. So remembering that nobility, we just want to think of Robert for a minute. And he brought through a message that Kimberly is going to bring in our messaging section. So that's why I say, so those of you who tune in on Zoom, come and join us one day. We do the messaging. We don't put it out on Facebook. But the messages are about proving life after life and the continuance of the soul. And so today, what I want to say on Groundhog Day for everybody here and everybody at home, follow your noble nature. Your noble nature is the soul talking to you. They call it the royal science in ancient esoteric. The royal science is the science of soul and the light, and understanding that you are a manifestation of that light, and that you will continue, and then you will guide others. And then one day the light will draw you back again. And guess what? It's Groundhog Day. Welcome to Groundhog Day, everybody. Come study with us at ISD. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.